In the shadowed expanse of the Indo-Pacific, where the azure waves of the South China Sea conceal the undercurrents of geopolitical rivalry, the Republic of the Philippines emerges as a sentinel of sovereignty, fortifying its defenses against the encroaching tides of assertion. Amid the ceaseless murmur of territorial disputes and the specter of great power competition, Manila's resolve to augment its arsenal with additional BrahMos supersonic cruise missile systems from India stands as a profound testament to the archipelago's quest for credible deterrence. As of August 2025, the latest dispatches from the corridors of power reveal a nation not merely reacting to threats, but architecting a bulwark of self-reliance, where each missile battery symbolizes the unyielding spirit of a people guarding their maritime patrimony. The genesis of this strategic odyssey traces back to January 2022, when the Philippines etched its name as the inaugural foreign custodian of the BrahMos missile, a supersonic harbinger of precision and velocity born from the Indo-Russian alliance between India's Defense Research and Development Organization and Russia's NPO Mashinostroyenia. Under a 18.9 billion Philippine peso accord, equivalent to approximately $375 million, the Philippine Marine Corps acquired 3 shore-based anti-ship missile batteries, complete with ancillary training and logistical sinews. This acquisition, consummated amid escalating frictions in the West Philippine Sea, marked a pivotal shift from reliance on traditional allies toward diversified defense procurement, infusing the armed forces of the Philippines with a weapon capable of traversing 290 kilometers at Mach 2.8, its sea-skimming trajectory evading radar like a phantom in the mist. The first consignment arrived in April 2024, followed by the second in April 2025, with the third anticipated by December, deploying across strategic redoubts such as Basco on Batan Island, San Felipe in Zambales, and the Palawan outposts of Culion and Tagbida, vantage points overlooking the contested expanse where China's militarized atolls loom as omens of intrusion. The impetus for expansion crystallized during President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s state visit to India from August 4th to 8, 2025, a diplomatic sojourn that elevated bilateral relations to a strategic partnership, weaving threads of defense collaboration into the fabric of Indo-Pacific stability. In a candid interview with India's First Post on August 7th, Marcos articulated the military's unequivocal endorsement of the BrahMos, drawing from dialogues with operators who, having undergone rigorous drills in India and the Philippines, voiced a collective imperative for augmentation. The officers and the men who operate the BrahMos system have been very confident with the equipment, Marcos intoned, his words resonating with the gravity of a commander surveying the horizon for storms. This sentiment echoed through the halls of the Philippine Department of National Defense, where Secretary Gilberto Teodoro Jr. on August 8th proclaimed the existing batteries as the core element of national deterrence, their deployment illuminating pathways for enduring Indo-Philippine synergy. Teodoro's reflections, shared with Indian media, underscored the very enlightening operational insights gleaned, positioning the BrahMos not as a mere armament, but as a cornerstone of long-term capability edifice. Reports from authoritative quarters, including Indian defense analyses, delineate the contours of Manila's ambitions. Negotiations, now in advanced gestation, envisage the procurement of 6 to 9 additional BrahMos coastal missile batteries, potentially doubling or tripling the current arsenal. This escalation, bifurcated between the Philippine Marine Corps, shore-based anti-ship missile system, and prospective land-based variants for the Philippine Army under the Integrated Shore-Based Anti-Ship Missile System project, aligns with the AFP's Horizons modernization paradigm, a $35 billion odyssey over the ensuing decade to transmute vulnerability into vigilance. Deferred from 2023 to 2027 horizons, the initiative anticipates budgetary infusion in 2026, heralding deliveries by 2028, financed purchase through Indian soft loans that underscore New Delhi's export aspirations. Such acquisitions may encompass evolved BrahMos iterations, extending ranges to 450 kilometers and enabling multi-domain launches from naval vessels or aerial platforms, thereby amplifying the archipelago's asymmetrical riposte. At the heart of this martial augmentation lies the BrahMos itself, a symphony of engineering prowess, hurtling at velocities approaching Mach 3. Its precision-guided warhead piercing the veil of enemy naval phalanxes with unerring lethality. Configured for maritime interdiction, the system targets adversarial warships and amphibious behemoths. Its low-altitude flight path, a labyrinthine challenge to interceptors, rendering vast swathes of the South China Sea as zones of prohibitive peril. Deployed along littoral frontiers, these batteries forge an area denial lattice, elevating the calculus of aggression for any would-be interloper. In the Philippine context, this translates to a fortified guardianship over exclusive economic zones, where the specter of Chinese Coast Guard provocations and artificial island bastions demands a response not of rhetoric, but of resolute capability. Marcos, ever the statesman navigating turbulent waters, clarified that this buildup bespeaks no belligerence but a prudent rejoinder to regional tempests, including the Taiwan Strait eddies and Beijing's expansive claims that erode the sanctity of international arbitration. Yet, the profundity of this endeavor transcends hardware. It embodies Manila's odyssey toward defense autonomy, shedding the vestiges of post-colonial dependencies in favor of a multifaceted alliance mosaic. The BrahMos infusion catalyzes joint exercises with the Indian Navy, co-production vistas, and explorations into ancillary Indian armaments like the Akash Air Defense Matrix or Dhruv rotary wing assets, fostering interoperability amid the Indo-Pacific's fractious symphony. This pivot resonates with the quadrilateral security dialogue's ethos, positioning the Philippines as a linchpin in countervailing hegemonic drifts, where each missile salvo potential deters the erosion of the rules-based order. Challenges, however, cast long shadows upon this ambitious tableau. Analysts, including those from strategic think tanks, admonish that the BrahMos efficacy hinges upon robust command control, communications, computers, intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance scaffolding, a domain where Philippine infrastructure lags, potentially curtailing the system's operational zenith. Augmenting this lattice, perhaps through U.S. auspices, emerges as imperative, lest the missiles remain potent yet isolated sentinels. Moreover, fiscal exigencies and protracted negotiations over quanta, timelines, and sustainment underscore the labyrinthine path ahead, demanding statesman-like perseverance. In contemplation, the Philippines' pursuit of additional BrahMos systems heralds a renaissance in Southeast Asian deterrence, where an archipelagic republic, once adrift in the currents of asymmetry, now charts a course of fortified resolve. As the sun dips below the contested horizons, casting elongated silhouettes across the waves, Manila's arsenal expansion whispers a profound verity. In the grand theater of international relations, true security is forged not in the clamor of conflict, but in the quiet accumulation of capabilities that render aggression an untenable folly. Thus, the BrahMos saga unfolds not merely as a procurement chronicle, but as an elegy to sovereignty's enduring vigil, a beacon illuminating the Indo-Pacific's precarious equilibrium.